Once upon a time, in the quiet town of Ulm, Germany, on March 14, 1879, a child was born.
Ow.
No one knew then that this boy, Albert Einstein, would one day change the very way we see the universe. Albert Einstein, a name that echoes through the corridors of time, synonymous with genius, with a mind that dared to question the very essence of reality. Today, we're not just going to talk about his theories, but delve into the dramatic life of the man who made the complex simple. Join me on this journey through time as we explore the dramatic life of Albert Einstein, early life and curiosity. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in Ulm, Germany. He grew up in Munich. As a child, Einstein was fascinated by a compass. "How did that thing know which direction to point?" he asked. That's when his father told him, "Everything is subject to law, my boy. Nothing can escape the laws of nature," and that planted a seed in young Albert's mind. A seed of curiosity that would eventually grow into towering trees of knowledge. Einstein struggled in traditional school. He often clashed with his teachers who didn't understand his inquisitive nature. But at home, he excelled in mathematics. By the age of 5, he was solving quadratic equations, and his imagination knew no bounds. He saw music, he heard colors, and tasted shapes. It was as if he experienced the world through a kaleidoscope, student years and struggles. After graduating from high school, Einstein went on to study at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic in Zurich. He wanted to be a teacher, but after failing his exams twice, he couldn't get a job. So he ended up working as a patent clerk in Bern, Switzerland. This might have been a setback for someone less determined, but for Einstein, it was just another puzzle to solve. During his free time at the patent office, he began to ponder the nature of light and came up with some groundbreaking ideas. And so we come to 1905, what would become known as Einstein's miracle year. In this year, while working as a patent clerk, Einstein published 4 groundbreaking papers that shook the foundations of physics. These papers would change our understanding of the universe and earn him the title of one of history's greatest physicists. First, let's talk about the photoelectric effect. Think of shining a light on a metal plate and watching it emit electrons. Seems simple, right? Well, scientists were puzzled. They couldn't figure out how the energy of these emitted electrons depended on the frequency of light. Was it based on the intensity or the color? Einstein stepped in and solved this puzzle. He proposed that light behaves like particles, like tiny packets of energy later named photons. This idea was revolutionary. It showed that light could exhibit both wave-like and particle-like properties, a concept now known as wave-particle duality. For this discovery, Einstein would win the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. Next, there's Brownian motion. Have you ever noticed dust particles dancing in a beam of light? What appears to be random movement is actually a beautiful example of atoms in motion. Einstein used mathematical analysis to prove that these tiny particles are jiggling due to collisions with molecules of air. It's providing solid proof for the existence of atoms. Then we have special relativity. Before Einstein, scientists believed that time was absolute. No matter where you are in the universe, time would be the same. Einstein turned that around. He proposed that time and space intertwined in a four-dimensional fabric are relative, depending on the observer's frame of reference. This means that time can be different for two observers who are moving relative to each other. Time slows down for the fast mover compared to the observer at rest. This concept not only revolutionized physics, but also gave rise to the famous equation E equals mc squared, which shows that mass and energy are interchangeable. A small mass can be converted into an enormous amount of energy as seen in nuclear reactions. Finally, in 1915, Einstein published his masterpiece, the General Theory of Relativity. He proposed that gravity is not a force, as Newton had suggested, but a curvature in the fabric of space-time caused by mass and energy. Imagine a bowling ball placed on a trampoline. It creates a dip or curvature in the fabric. Similarly, massive objects warp the space-time around them, influencing how other objects move in their vicinity. This theory is the basis for our understanding of the universe on a grand scale, including phenomena like black holes and gravitational waves. In 1919, a total solar eclipse provided the perfect opportunity to test Einstein's theory. If light bends around massive objects, then starlight should bend as it passes near the sun. Arthur Eddington, an English astronomer, set out to measure this. And guess what? His observations matched Einstein's predictions. The universe itself had spoken, and Einstein had given it a language. Newspapers around the world celebrated. Einstein became a worldwide celebrity, featured on magazine covers and the face of countless newspaper headlines. People marveled at the man who had deciphered the language of the universe. Later contributions? In the 1920s, Einstein turned his attention to cosmology. He introduced the cosmological constant, a term added to his equations to keep the universe static, a view that was popular at the time. However, later discoveries such as the expansion of the universe led him to question this constant. During the 1930s, Einstein made significant contributions to quantum theory, but he remained skeptical of the inherent randomness of quantum mechanics. He famously said, "God does not play dice with the universe." Instead, he explored the possibility of a deterministic hidden variable theory, a view that remains controversial to this day. Throughout his career, Einstein continued to search for a unified field theory that would reconcile gravity with the other forces of nature. Unfortunately, he never achieved this goal. However, his work laid the foundation for future breakthroughs. World War II and beyond. When Adolf Hitler came to power in 1933, Einstein realized that his life was in danger. He'd been vocal about his opposition to war and militarism, which put him on the Nazis' blacklist. In March, he left Germany and settled in the United States at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton. In 1939, Einstein, along with other scientists, sent a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt warning him about the potential of atomic weapons. This prompted the U.S. government to start the Manhattan Project, which successfully developed the first atomic bombs. Ironically, despite his warnings, Einstein himself did not work on the atomic bomb and never even visited the Los Alamos laboratory where it was developed. Final years. In his later years, Einstein remained a vocal advocate for peace and humanism, opposed nuclear weapons, and campaigned for peaceful uses of atomic energy. Despite his pacifist views, he supported the creation of Israel in 1948, seeing it as a haven for persecuted Jews. After suffering a series of strokes in the late 1940s, Einstein's health deteriorated. On April 18, 1955, at the age of 76, he died of an abdominal aortic aneurysm at Princeton Hospital. His brain was removed during an autopsy without informing his family, which remains a controversial chapter in his legacy. He was cremated, and his ashes were buried at a Jewish cemetery in Trenton, New Jersey. As we draw the curtains on the dramatic life of Albert Einstein, remember this: he wasn't just a genius confined to a lab. He was a rebel, a humanitarian, a seeker of truth. He showed us that questioning the status quo is not just acceptable, it's essential. He dared to look beyond what was visible, proving that the universe is not as it seems. His life was a symphony, a beautiful composition of curiosity, determination, and an unwavering pursuit of knowledge. His legacy is a challenge, a call to each one of us to look up at the stars and realize that we too, can unravel the mysteries of the cosmos. The dramatic life of Albert Einstein reminds us that genius isn't just about the destination. It's about the extraordinary journey of the human spirit in pursuit of understanding the grand design of the universe. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Your support means everything to us. Also, do not forget to subscribe so that you never miss out on any of our incredible journeys through history. Here's to your curiosity, and thank you for watching.